This presentation focuses on how events can use RaceJoy specifically for relay teams. Events with the relay component are coming to us in growing numbers, and in response to this high interest, we've been introducing many industry innovations that focus on the unique needs of relay teams and the needs of the event organizers. So let's get started. Anyone that has put on a relay knows that there are different needs for a relay team compared to individual participants, from the technology involved to the overall management. And relay participants themselves also have a very different experience than the individual participant. From the friendly peer pressure to the encouraging support, there is this connection that gets created with being part of a relay team versus completing your own event. Plus, the fun element just gets raised. And many organizers are looking at ways in which they can take advantage of this natural social nature with the relay teams and create more engagement and excitement around their race. And RaceJoy gives you the tools to take their experience to the next level while helping you manage things behind the scenes. Events use RaceJoy's features for a number of reasons, and each tend to be a little different as to what is most important to them. Typically, the live participant tracking is the starting point where most events want to be able to offer tracking. And this, along with RaceJoy's cheer feature, increases the team engagement and encourages that social connection within the teams. And we see many organizers want to use RaceJoy from a race operations perspective for safety reasons and for the ability to monitor things more effectively and also have the ability to instantly communicate with participants at any time. This shows some example events that have either a relay component or are a relay exclusive event that have used RaceJoy. The most teams that have used RaceJoy at a single event was at Colfax Marathon in Denver with more than 600 teams. And the longest distance where RaceJoy has been used is at Peak to Peru with 228 miles. And they also had 41 exchange points and teams of up to 12 people. We've had teams of all sizes use RaceJoy, from 2-person teams to 12 people and everywhere in between. So RaceJoy is designed to be very flexible. The keystone feature of RaceJoy is its GPS tracking. We turn the person's phone into a tracking device and then report the participant's actual location on your official course map. People can track up to 50 participants at a time. So they can track other individuals and teams during the event while they're being tracked. Participants can have their friends and family track them from home as well. And the person doing the current leg has the natural encouragement that is felt knowing that others are tracking them. This shows what it looks like to track several people. This is not an estimator. RaceJoy shows their true location, which is extremely valuable for a relay team. They can see where the team van is, where the active participant is, and other team members. So from a safety perspective for the individual and from a team management perspective, knowing where everyone is significantly reduces any stress that they could have experienced. So we're often asked, what is the percentage of runners that carry their phone? And Running USA reports that at least 60% of runners carry their phone while running. And we've had race directors actually do their own surveys, and they have found this to be much higher. So we're just making use of the device that they're already carrying. So we just covered the tracking of a person's location. Now let's talk about GPS-based progress updates, which is similar to the traditional bid tag text alert system. With the bid tag tracking, we see that races handle this differently from race to race. Some will just issue a finish alert for the last leg, and others will have teams hand off a timing strap to provide updates at the relay exchange points. RaceJoy is different. What RaceJoy does is, again, make use of the person's phone and your official course map to provide continual progress updates based upon their passing milestones on the course. And these are typically issued out at every mile, and many relays will also have them issued at the exchange points. And RaceJoy takes things a step further and virtually ties the team phones together to provide not only individual leg alerts, but overall team progress updates as well. There's no extra timing needed or integration required. This is based on their GPS location versus their running by timing equipment on the course. So RaceJoy's tracking is a great way to fill in and supplement your official time progress updates. It's not intended to replace timing of races. GPS and cell technology are not as reliable as having hardware on the ground. RaceJoy measures the person's place in relation to their location on the course and instantly provides performance information. The progress alerts include the pace for the current leg, the average team pace, and the estimated finish time for the team. And the active participant receives these in audio format so they can stay focused on completing their leg without needing to look at their phone. And those tracking the participant receives these as in-app notifications that they can review at any time. And here's an example of an individual alert.
You are a mile late. Total time 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 8 seconds. Average pace 9 minutes, 16 seconds. Estimated finish time 2 hours, 1 minute, and 23 seconds.
So RaceJoy is designed to be flexible for teams, and not all team members, may want to use RaceJoy, and they don't have to get the team alerts. As long as the first member starts the clock at the start, the subsequent members can choose to opt in or not. Because we have virtually tied their phones together under one team, we can keep their team clock going. We're definitely seeing a growing interest from the long-distance endurance events using RaceJoy and also the trail events, especially from a safety perspective. We're actually seeing more of these ultra relay events either require or strongly encourage all participants to use RaceJoy as part of their safety protocol. And this is showing on the screen, someone used RaceJoy for 29 hours. And clearly they made use of a portable battery. And speaking of battery life, a typical phone's battery will last 8 to 14 hours using RaceJoy's tracking. And this is actually a very conservative estimate. However, this does vary based upon the age of the phone and whether other apps are being used. RaceJoy can also be a great option for remote events. Again, from a safety perspective, if you have a remote or challenging course, RaceJoy gives you another tool you can use in your safety protocol. We just need the majority of the course to have functioning cell conditions. If the participant enters a poor cell zone, they will continue to receive progress updates from RaceJoy. However, those tracking them will not be able to see their blue dot move until they re-enter a functioning cell area. Near me is a feature in RaceJoy that is very helpful for relay teams. This is where the person receives an audio cowbell sound along with an in-app notice like shown in the center here. And this is received when the track participant is drawing near to them. It's perfect for those getting ready for the relay handoff. And RaceJoy Send It to Your feature is another way for events to encourage enthusiasm around the race. We are frequently told that the cheers are what made their day and help participants complete the race, and relay teams love using this feature to root one another on. RaceJoy preloads audio cheer clips, and these include short music files and also just kind of fun sayings and so forth. And here's an example of a couple of them. Relay teams can also communicate with one another without disturbing the runner by sending text-to-cheer messages. So they don't have to stop and look at their phone or answer their phone. So if they need to communicate something, they can just type in a message and it's played in audio format. So say, for example, you were wanting to take a photo of your team member and they were running the course, but they're looking down and they don't realize that you're there. You could type in a message and have it played.
Look up, I'm on your right. Age here from Kat Harris.
So with Send a Cheer, you can provide a way for relay teams to engage with one another instantly on race day and the days leading up to the race and after the race. So those were the RaceJoy features that focus on the relay team members themselves and creating an interactive, supportive experience. RaceJoy then takes these features and provides a system for race management to use for race day monitoring and communications. This is a web-based system that can be accessed by your staff and timers and whoever you wish to have access to or give access to. The monitoring system includes a global view of the course and all the active participants. And you can zoom in to see various areas on the course or individuals. You can select in onto different individuals. You can also view a particular team. This is showing Legs Miserables, which is a cute name. And we have it programmed so that you will, when you're seeing this at a glance, that you're getting potentially off course alerts, that we're zeroing in on those active runners. So it's just those that are actively doing the leg. You'll be able to see the last, the locations of the others, but they will not, the other members of the team, but they won't be looking at like their live runners. This screen can also be displayed on a large display at a race site to add to the activity on race day and present a little bit more of a modern feel for your event. You also have the option of viewing a progress board or grid view of participants to see who has completed the various exchange points or mile markers or miles on the points on the course. And you can narrow this down to view whatever you're interested in. It gives a nice kind of at-a-glance view of things that can also be projected to a screen as a leaderboard. This file can be exported and analyzed as well. Note the areas, though, here in the data where there's some white areas, and those are the locations where, as we mentioned before, that a participant chose not to use RaceJoy. And it's showing you that the subsequent legs did use RaceJoy, and we were able to include their overall team time and pick them back up. So it's very flexible in that regard. One of the things I wanted to make sure to touch on is tracking the operations team, since we get a lot of interest in this. You can use RaceJoy to conveniently track where the race director is, the SAG wagon, and so on. And staff can use can track one another using the app, which makes it super convenient to see where each other are while working the race. And then whoever's monitoring and managing things can use the web-based monitoring dashboard to get an overall view of where the staff is. And we're finding the larger events are especially interested in this. And they may actually have just a window just tracking volunteers and so forth. There are some additional tools, though, in the monitoring system to kind of help manage things on race day. And one of them is route replay. This is where you can see the route and performance data for anyone that you need to verify, whether because they had an issue with their bib tag or there was a question about their method of completion. This gives you a nice verification tool, and you're able to drill down and see the real-time performance information for individuals. Another tool which the endurance relay races are really embracing is off-course alerts. Where you will receive an alert through the monitoring system if someone goes off course. And you have the option to have these alerts actually issued to the participant to be played in audio format. However, this is only available upon request, and we do require a map review session that you feel very confident that your map is accurate, because obviously we don't want false off-course alerts going off. So if you are monitoring things and you get an off-course alert, as shown with Tim, you can determine if there's a trouble spot on the course and maybe you need to send someone there, or maybe someone is giving wrong directions. We actually saw this. They have volunteers, have the best of intentions, but they might be sending people the wrong way. So one of the things, you can send a message actually directly to the participant from the monitoring dashboard, and that is then played again in audio format. So you can send them a message saying, turn to the left, or look at your map in RaceJoy. For this particular individual, they were issued our automated audio off-course alert, and this is what it sounds like.
Warning, you may be off course.
And then she eventually got back on track. So we send this actually a few times in case they don't hear it. But this eases so much stress, not only for the participant, but also for the race organizers. Through the monitoring system, you can send these instant audio messages to all participants, select individuals, like we just talked about, a relay team, and race operations. So consider this your personal microphone that extends your reach to whoever you want to communicate with, and their phone is the speaker. You simply type in a message, and within seconds, it's played in audio format. This is an especially important tool that can be used to communicate urgent information, like the need to maybe close the course due to poor weather. And here is an example of an alert like that.
Alert. We are closing course to lightning. Please proceed to nearest aid station for instructions. A message from RaceJoy Moorestown.
From a safety and communications perspective, this opens new doors for race organizers to have immediate and direct access to participants without having the need to send someone physically out to them. Another communications feature that races have, in RaceJoys, the ability to send mass news alerts to everyone that has entered your event. So it could be participants, spectators, and race operations. And this is for important global race information, and can be pre-scheduled or sent out as needed on race day. These are issued as in-app notifications and are then held in the race news section. So you have this more formal vehicle for communicating, and then the direct personal microphone method. There are a couple custom options I thought I'd cover briefly as they relate to relay teams. And the first one is customizing your course maps. This is an area of the app that people are viewing the most, and is a great way to showcase visually all that you're providing around your event. Everything from parking to lodging, entertainment, water, your expo, local sponsors. And relay events will also include exchange points. And if your exchange points are themed or sponsored, you can also include the sponsor logo or your theme, image, or any information you'd like to include in that exchange point, and they view that when they click on the icon. Another really great feature that opens up all sorts of opportunities for events is RaceJoy's Geo Cheer points. And this is where you can schedule audio cheers to automatically play as participants cross certain locations on the course. You can use one of RaceJoy's audio cheers, or load your own files, or just type in a message that will then be played. This is a creative way to use sound to replicate what is being experienced on the ground. I'm actually working with a race right now that has different sponsors at each exchange points, and she's showcasing them on the map, but she's also issuing sponsor-related cheers right before they reach the exchange point. Though I want to encourage you to be very selective on these. Since they're already getting the progress updates at every mile, we don't want to overwhelm them. And also, these should be very relevant to what the person is experiencing at the race versus straight advertising. We just don't want people to get frustrated. The Pittsburgh Marathon was the first to try this feature out, and Sierra Nevada was a sponsor for the event. And here's a sample file that was played to participants right before they got to the finish. So you can get super creative with this for your event. So we've covered what RaceJoy offers from a relay team perspective, with live tracking, progress alerts, near me alerts, cheer sending, and we covered the features available for race organizers, including the monitoring system, performance management, direct communications, and then the various custom options you can take advantage of. All of this helps you encourage and further elevates the natural excitement experience that is unique for relay teams, along with giving you the tools to help manage the experience on the back end. In the end, the better the participant experience, the greater the registrations will be. So it's a true win-win for everybody. Thanks for joining us today. As you see, we've been doing a lot of development specifically around the relay team experience, so be on the lookout for more innovation to come. If you're interested in using RaceJoy for your event, or you have further questions, please contact us at rockstar@racejoy.com.
So we're going to see if we also have any questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the question section or the chat section. We're going to stay on just for a moment to see if we have any follow-up questions. But again, also feel free to, you can send it to Rockstar or to me, Shelly Harris, at RaceJoy.com. I think I have a slide on. Let's see that we have any questions. Oh, great. Looking forward to talking to you, Zach. I think that's it. Doesn't look like we have questions coming in. All right, thanks so much for joining us. And again, feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Oh, sorry. So we have a question. Do you recommend for relays that exchanges are made at timer mats, or can they be exchanged without mats? That's up to you. So it's nice to kind of line things up, whatever you're doing at the event. So if you have them at timer mats, it probably works really good just to line up your exchange points for RaceJoy to be exactly what you have on your course. That way it's kind of, you know, you're replicating what they're experiencing at the race site. So that's a good question. Yes, the slides, everybody that's attending this will receive this presentation as well.
And again, going back to the question about the timer mats, definitely don't have to have timer mats at the exchange points. So we work with a lot of relays where, you know, for various reasons, they're not putting timing equipment at certain points. So you can set up your course and how you define the exchange transfer points completely independent of the timing, and it'll work either way.
Any other questions? Okay, well, be on the lookout for our next webinar. Our next webinar on RaceJoy will be all about how you can use RaceJoy for your sponsors and all the various opportunities within the app to, you know, give your sponsors, you know, access to, you know, an extended audience and so forth. So that will be our next webinar, and we'll be, you know, communicating the date on that soon. All righty, thanks so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon.